Hello, it's Jennifer. Today is July 30th. It's a Tuesday. First of all, I want to say to my friends in Europe, I hope everything's okay. I understand it's hotter than normal and that this may be the new normal for you. I hope, your gardens and agriculture are somehow getting through this. And to folks in the Midwest also, with all the flooding and everything, I hope you're getting through it too. I know that things are bad, that some crop dates, some sowing dates were missed, and that those who sowed seeds and took the chance have had their crops flooded and ruined. So I hope everything's going well. I've already seen in some seed catalogs that some things are not going to be available next year because of the crop ruin. So just be aware, this is climate change, and we all have to be prepared for it, and that's something to think about for our gardens as we go into the future. Okay, so for me here in Southern California, it's the end of July going into August. These are our hottest months of the year. So basically August, September, October are the hottest months of the year here. And the heat and the powdery mildew are taking a big toll on my garden. So we've had a few days in the past 2 weeks that have been over 100 degrees here. And well, anyhow, you can see a lot of brown. I've been using this shade from the grapes effectively, but part of the problem with these grapes providing shade is that they also stop air movement. So it allowed for a lot of powdery mildew, which ruined the plants below the trellises here. But above the trellises, you can see that there's plenty of tomatoes and plants woven in. And over here to ripening tomatoes and whatnot. Ah! What the hell? Okay. Oh, I've got strings hanging down. There's spiders everywhere. It's kind of scary under here sometimes. And here's some more tomatoes. So I'm now... spiders. Oh my god. Okay, I'm now working on a third round of tomatoes. And that's these here. I've had to cut back some of the grapes to allow sunshine in so these can grow. Oh. And here's the second round of tomatoes. So I've been managing having them in pots, and what I've learned is that it's really easy to overwater in pots, so a lot of these ended up with blossom end rot, and I had to pull them off and just put the tomatoes on the ground for the birds, which they've been eating. These over here I expected to die because I thought they were done with their growing since they're determinate, and they had put out a bunch of tomatoes, but it looks like they're bouncing back for a second round. I'm really confused. So same here. This is the Madame Marmon, and it really does not like the heat at all. So this plant over here is really suffering. The tomatoes are really small. But if you look over here, back here is also a Madame Marmon, but it has much bigger tomatoes. It's it's very well shaded, and even though the leaves all died, the tomatoes are very big. And the leaves up top, above the canopy here, are healthy. So I understand now that, you really have to be particular about where you put your plants and what plants like which environment. So these one here are a French variety, and it seems that they can't take the heat of a Southern California summer. So this rambling big boy is a patty pan squash, and so far it has not produced any fruit. It just has a bunch of male flowers and some gigantic leaves. It may not be getting enough sun underneath the grapes here, I've tried opening it up some to see if I could get some sun, but so far it hasn't really been working. So it has tried to put out some fruits, but those fruits went unfertilized, and that may be because there are no bees down here. Looking at the tomatoes again, the plant underneath the trellis here, underneath the canopy, the leaves are dead and brown, but there's still plenty of tomatoes above the canopy and draping down. So I guess the system works as it's supposed to, but it kind of leaves the plants looking ugly. But I think that's because of the powdery mildew. So next year I will have to control the grapes better, such that they provide dappled shade and not full shade, and also to allow for airflow. Okay, these are also the second generation plants that I started indoors, and then I had to move outdoors because I was getting powdery mildew indoors as well. And this is the Abe Lincoln, and it's doing very well. And back behind there is the Russian Red. It fell over. All of these plants, they advertise that they're going to be about 4 feet tall. Some of them have stuck to that, but others, like this one here, have not. And the one behind, I think, is the Rutgers, and this one up front, if I'm not mistaken, is the I think it might be the Oregon Spring. And the same with these back here. They are very, very big and tall. I'm very pleased with their production, and they seem to be doing well over here. So basically these get sun from about 7:30 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon, and then after that they're in shade. So the melons in my yard, hello Mr. Crow, are starting to mature. It won't be long now, at least for these Gallia melons. When they turn golden is when they are ready to harvest. So here are some over here that are yellowing up. These other ones, the oval ones, are called papaya dew, and it's hard to tell when these are ripe. It says that the bottoms are supposed to start turning yellow. I haven't seen that happening yet, so I guess these are not ripe. Behind there are some pepper plants, and it's jalapeno. I'm not sure what that one is, and that is a scrawny Jimmy Nardello, and then there's also a jalapeno over there. So I'm not having much luck growing the tomatoes that are supposed to be small in these small pots. So basically, this is the Napoli, and they all got blossom end rot, and then at the same time the leaves fried. So so it just doesn't seem to be a good combination, at least for here on my patio, to have small potted tomatoes. So they get too much water and then burnt, and then burnt by the sun. So it looks like I have to put them in a different part of the yard so they don't get so much sun. And I don't know what to do about the watering. That's just a tough thing. And then over here, my butternut squashes are almost ready. So these are the orange butternut squash. The rest of the squashes, like this zucchini, are producing. And the same thing with this yellow squash. I haven't gotten anything off of this one yet. This one never really took off. I'm not sure what that is. And I've only got one of the acorn squash over here. My peppers seem to be doing very well this year. I think it's because of the increased watering. So even this one that doesn't have shade over it's doing pretty well. And this is a bell pepper. That's the sweet Spanish. And then over here is I forget what they're called. Anyhow, it's a mild pepper. It's not hot. And then over here are the other peppers that are under shade. And these are the Padron, the Cuneo, the ancho pepper, another Jimmy Nardello plant, which is much more healthier, this one back there, and a yellow monster. So this is the patio princess. I thought it was done and I was getting ready to pull it out. But I noticed that after I cut it back, it started growing back again. So it looks like it's coming back for a second round, even though it is supposed to be determinate. I'm really confused about this, but I decided to let it grow and see what happens. That is a pepper from last year. I've forgotten what it is, but it might be a cayenne. The same thing is happening here with this bush steak, where I thought it was done, and it's coming back for a second round. And here are some more of the other plants in smaller pots, again, not doing well. So, have the blossom end rot and the burnt leaves at the same time. Here's another one here, and here's another one here. This one, it's trying, but again, all of the tomatoes had blossom end rot. This is the super bush here. It looks much better. And back here is the Tasmanian chocolate. And then back there is the little bites. And it just keeps on going strong. So supposedly again a determinate plant, but it looks to me like it might be either semi-determinate or indeterminate, but just small stature. And then over here have some more jalapenos looking really nice. And over there, this plant has some really huge jalapenos. It has been a good producer, and these jalapenos are very tasty. Strong jalapeno flavor and good heat. And the last thing I want to show is that this other banana plant died. But before it died, it shot off a daughter. So now most of my yard is full of daughter plants. And it seems that the daughters, like this one, are much stronger than their parents were. And that's a good thing. And that's all for now. Everybody stay cool. And I guess I'll be back in August.